Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Stage Rats.
All right, Marley and I are back with our second Spotlight of the Month interview for September 2020. Now, our spotlight this month is someone not only near and dear to our hearts, but to a lot of improv kids here in the Las Vegas Valley.
Angelina and I are very excited for this interview, and you should be too, because our Spotlight of the Month is Kopy Kopatich. Confetti!
Woo! Yes! All right, so Kopy is the head runner, headmaster, as you will, head host,
Ringleader.
whatever. Championed soldier leading them to victory of the High School Jesters Improv League. The league also features a lot of local performers, improv artists, and coaches and staff as well, and we're super excited.
Yes, Jesters provides an outlet for a lot of young people in the Valley, and it promotes teamwork, positivity, and sportsmanship and above all else, while also promoting performance and, improv, and it's very whose line is it anyway style. Let's bring Kopy in.
All right.
There he is. We
It's
haven't done this
Kopy.
before.
This is all very brand new
This
to us.
is brand new.
It's like, it feels like deja vu, but I know it's never happened before.
Never. No one's
Such
ever
a
been through
strange
this.
feeling.
No. And because I don't know what's happening, I just would like you to tell me what Jesters is and how it came to be.
Sure. The easiest definition I've come up with over the years is that the same way that your high school could have a football team, a volleyball team, baseball team, whatever, here in Las Vegas, they have improv teams. And then they act just as a sport. So they compete against each other. There's a playoffs, a season, championship awards. It has a full functioning sports body on top of it. So that's the easiest version that I can give you. There's really no other thing like this anywhere else.
Awesome,
Cool.
awesome, my dude. Follow-up question. In your opinion, what is it about improv that makes it such a good outlet for young people?
Improv, if we're not talking about things that happen on stage, like the technicalities and the rules of improv and the artistic side of it, for young people, it's really kind of just exposing socializing skills and exposing how we communicate with each other. So really underneath all of that technicality is just putting things on a pedestal, putting things on a platform and giving it a spotlight. So everyone gets nervous, everyone, even the most confident people. Think of the most confident person in your head. There's moments where they have anxiety. There's moments where Miley and Saga gets scared. And a lot of times that probably has some sort of social pressure on top of it.
It's because she's scared of me.
Well, there you go.
She's scared of the power she holds.
Miley, if you're watching.
Well, and in Miley's case, what probably helps Miley is improv. Improv allows her to have a way to navigate through any type of social pressures just by putting it on a platform. It makes everything okay. All of those nerves that you have are suddenly okay in an improv setting. So that's kind of the neat side of it. Now, it's not just for youth. It can be for everyone. And in my scenario, I've taught babies all the way up to seniors. So it helps everybody.
Babies.
Improv
it's babies. It's like the Muppet Babies. It's like it's all the coaches, but they're aged down, so children will watch the show.
Yep. It's kind of a beautiful thing what I see it do to people. So
okay.
That's cool. Okay, so with all that being said, what is your favorite thing about Jesters?
My favorite thing about Jesters is the value that I think I see it add to people's lives and watching them grow with it. There are people that really invest themselves in Jesters, and then there's some that kind of just come along for the ride for however long that ride is. And it doesn't matter what length or the amount of investment. I see everyone gain something. even in the smallest increment. So
I'm sorry. I thought of a funny joke.
it's okay. That is the easiest answer I can give you to that question. So
Thank you, Kopy.
you're welcome.
I'm okay. I'm sorry. I thought I was funny for a second, and then I thought about it. I'm not. Change of heart.
Oh, okay. So, Angelina, you need to stop laughing. I'm getting into the serious question. So,
It's okay. Just pretend
So-
like I'm not here.
okay. Okay, on a slightly more serious note, with the whole pandemic and everything, how is Jesters planning to respond for next season with COVID-19?
We've got some plans in place to actually exist. I would be lying if I said that I didn't have a minute where I was like, I don't know if we can do it this year. Mainly because I don't ever want this thing to turn into something that's more of a hassle than it is valuable. So I wanted to ensure that whatever plans we came up with still had value, still had purpose, and we could still gain from our experiences. So it wasn't necessarily easy to come up with this plan, but I do believe the plans that we have, regardless of what happens with coronavirus, because just who knows, no matter what happens, we've got a plan in place that I think everyone can really benefit from still and enjoy. And yes, we would love to be in person, but I think this can be the next best step to that possibility of being in person. So heck, if you watch that goofy video, I mean, in all honesty, a lot of the students are in person right now anyway. So I mean, whether they're siblings or just hanging out at each other's houses, they're already together. So we'll capitalize on whatever the situation is, and we'll make it work.
Yeah, if Angelina can still think of funny jokes, very vague funny jokes, over Zoom, why can't Jesters?
Yeah, Angelina sends me a text every day. Kopy, you want to hear a joke? And that's what it is. That's
Don't
because
tell me that. I will start sending you the funniest things that happen to me every single day.
Okay.
And you will get sick of me, and you will block me.
Well, to clarify, and I doubt it, but to clarify, Angelina's an adult, so she can do that now, Jesters, so no one else start texting me
Yeah.
jokes.
No jokes,
Hey,
kids.
Kopy. I send Kopy a selfie, and I'm like, "Hey, Kopy, here's me eating lunch today. How are you?" And just completely normal conversation. He's like, I can't text right now. Bye." I'll be like,
He's
"Okay,
like, no further
have a nice
questions.
day." And then I send him another selfie, and he's like, "Sorry, I forgot."
Yeah, how are you going to do the potty mouth foul? Because that's kind of gross now.
The fouls are the fouls I'm not terribly worried about because we're pre-recording almost everything. Coaches have an opportunity to not include that. So I haven't really stressed on the foul side of it. I think maybe this year we can create just some sort of fun little foul to go on top of something, but we might not do potty mouth this year.
You just put like the clown emoji over them on the screen and it just follows them.
Yep, you could.
Here's what that foul could be. It could be like a Photoshop foul where your video is too heavily edited to the point where it's just completely fake.
Oh my god,
Well,
and then every time you get a foul, it just makes your video quality even worse and worse till you're out.
Oh my gosh. Like you go from HD
1080p, 720, 460, 320, and then you're at 240, and then it's
then you're
okay,
at
guys,
3
chill.
frames per second and your audio sounds like nails on a chalkboard. But
at that point
it
will sound like it's a toilet, so I think it works.
Well, we really don't ever have to use the potty mouth anymore. So, I mean, past 5 years or so, I mean, it never gets called. So,
were there any potty mouths this past year?
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. I mean, we're down to one a year, maybe. That's how much it gets used. So
a pretty good quota.
Maybe the year before we had 2, I think. But yeah, we're pretty low on that scale. So it's kind of cool. It's a good thing.
Now that we have the opportunity to bleep, I am going to end up accidentally saying so many naughty words.
Yeah, I know for me, all of mine happened before I got on stage.
Yeah, because
just to make sure.
I think this just might be Palo Kid training, because part of Adam's philosophy was like, so you don't curse on stage, say all the naughty things you want to say during rehearsal.
But then he would also
So
tell us not to because he's like, you're gonna perform what you practice. So it was a weird line of like, all right,
it
do I
was
just make the
depending on the
joke?
day. But like
Yeah.
all the kids that were under Adam, like in Burkhart today, like me and Sam, all the others are decently good about it, except for Nappy, of course. But but me and Sam are like sailors.
Well, and you can be. So the way that I look at it might be a little different than how Adam addressed it there, but you just have to understand who's in front of you, who's your audience. And if you have respect enough to appreciate who your audience is, then that should limit how much you say or don't say. So we very rarely come across a nappy like in that scenario. Like especially at the beginning of the year, man, I was worried. I was like, I don't know if he understands at all that there's an audience.
You don't
That's my
understand.
nephew.
From a purely artistic standpoint, like he's actually really good at this. Like he is very talented. He shouldn't sell himself short and resort to it. So, I mean, we'll all get there, but that's part of growing. That's part of Jester.
Getting back on track.
Yeah.
My burning question that I've had for years upon years: what is your least favorite improv game, and what is your favorite improv game?
Oh, my favorite improv game is Countdown. I'm just kidding.
Everyone's favorite.
No. That is that's definitely my least favorite game. Countdown, Half-Life. It's the game where you play a scene and then you play it again, where you cut the time in half. So you do it half the amount of time and then do it again and again and again until someone explodes. It just at the adult level, at the Jesters level, you just don't never see that game actually be good. And so many people love that game. They just completely miss the whole point of it and how to play with it and how to do it well. Even at my professional level with just serendipity, I just don't do it. I just don't do that game. There's no point. So Countdown's definitely my least favorite. Please don't let that discourage anyone from trying it. If you want to try it and actually rock it, go for it. But try and figure out how to play that game.
Never play Countdown. Kopy will think you are ugly and stupid and dumb.
From a favorite game standpoint, I think that changes a lot. When I first started, I think especially in my cohort group, miming was my favorite. Anything to do with miming, I felt like I really had a good grasp of how to do that. And you know from around the league, that's not normally most people's strengths. But as I've gotten older, I've found a lot more appreciation for a lot of the other sides of it. Like I really enjoy the guessing side of the miming games, or even just the scene work side of things. It's just, I'm not a purist at all. So there are purists that are just like, long form improv is the only thing that I can do or appreciate. I'm not that way, even close. But I'm not sure. It just constantly evolves and changes. I'm a big fan maybe right now of those interrogation type games. Just the fun way of how to articulate ideas and suggestions and not give it away. Like maybe that might be my current crush, are those type of games. But
Kopy's got a crush.
There's a game that's very
interrogation game.
There's a game very similar to interrogation called Complaint Department, and it's basically interrogation in reverse. And I don't know. Maybe that's my current favorite.
Ooh.
I killed
Complaint
Tony the
Department.
Tiger. That was for you, Marley.
So we usually ask people on our spotlight interview. I say usually, like we've done this a bunch of times.
Yeah, this is our second one.
We ask them what their favorite rehearsal snack is, but Kopy is more of a host, doesn't really have a penchant for rehearsals. So what is your favorite snack during a long day of doing improv shows?
I'm weird about foods and snacks. Like if you see Roman literally walks into the theater with just bags full of stuff, and he puts a 12-pack of pink lemonade in the back, and I can't do that. I've never been that way. I would rather not eat for 14 hours. Like, for those of you who don't know, that's what a Jester Saturday is. It's 14 hours of shows where I'm on stage. I'd rather eat, not eat. That's me. I'd rather eat after. I can't eat before. One of my professional partners literally can sit down and eat a whole pizza before going up there, and I just don't know. I never knew how he could do that. If you ever see me eating on those days, it's mainly to advertise for the school's concession stand. Like, hey, and there have been days where like the concession stand will just give me food all day, and I just can't eat it all. It's like, hey, here's a donut, here's a burger, here's a
$1.
Gushers.
Go buy yourself something pretty.
Right, exactly. So just all day, and it's like, all these things in combination already are awful. Plus, I'm supposed to be up here doing things. So I don't want to spit on everyone, and I've done it. So.
All right, Marley, do you want to do those other 2 questions that you added in, or just not?
I will. So. So, fun fact for those who don't know, on Just Serendipity, where Kopy posts all of his Jester's content on YouTube, he also has a 24-episode improv show that's still running called Blivet.
Yeah.
Talk to us about Blivet, Kopy.
Because I didn't know that you were going to ask this at all, I wasn't prepared even in the slightest. However,
in the slightest.
So,
Ooh, he dropped the link.
Oh, everyone check this out.
Well, here.
Whoa, so cool.
Well, it's something that I actually enjoy and did, and it was kind of neat. But the same way.
Good to know it didn't make you miserable.
Plenty of things have made me miserable in the improv
But you
world.
didn't say that about Jesters earlier, so.
Well, no, Jesters is not one of them.
Jesters makes Kopy sad. Retweet.
Here, let me change my wall to a Blivet wall. Hold on.
And then behind the Blivet wall, it's just my face. Just...
So Blivet, Blivet, it is a show inspired by early 1900s radio shows. So back then, families would gather around and sit by the radio and listen to episodic shows, but it's all audio, of course, because it was radio. So they would make in-studio sound effects, and basically that got replaced by television, and they would sit around the television. So now everyone just sits on their phone, and there's no sitting around together doing anything. But we thought with the podcasty world that's out there now, why not create an old episodic show just like the audio ones from back then? So we did. We wrote a 24-episode pilot season to do all audio based, like a radio show. We modernized it a little bit, but even there's layers of static added on top of it just to make it sound more authentic, like it was from back then, and so on. But we wrote it, but it is improvised. So all of the actual context, all of the jokes, everything in there is improvised. So we found a lot of beauty in what we did, and we kind of surprised ourselves. I'm going to give a lot of that credit to our main star, which is Audrey Radiff. It's not just funny, like it's dramatic, it's suspenseful, there's reasons to cry, there's reasons to laugh, there's a lot that go into it. So our finale is what's getting posted currently, and even just that episode that posted this past Sunday, like I don't know if there's one joke in that episode. It is all the suspense and high points of the entire season. So kind of neat to be a part of that project.
Right. So
cool.
As we've seen, a lot of people love the first season of Blivet. Is there going to be season 2?
Yeah, we got a little bit of love for the first season, so we wrote season 2, and we have season 2 ready. COVID has kind of kept us out of the studio, so we got to record in a professional studio for this, and we got endorsed by them. So here in Las Vegas, Dog and Pony Studios, which was really cool to be a part of that situation. We've all done improv, but all 5 of us that were part of this, because all 5 of us did every single character, everything in the show. It was new doing it in this way. So having to improvise to where you can't see anything, to where you give verbal commands and try and verbally describe certain things, that was all brand new. So it was a lot of fun.
6 seasons in a movie.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
And a book deal.
Yeah.
And a book deal.
Well, Audrey for us was our main character, and then we kind of danced around her. That's the way we looked at it. Was she was the focal point, and then we kind of made circles around her, highlighting her. So, and the way that I look at it is the other 3, which are Brent Mukai, Brandon Green, and Tears of Wine Set, which to me are just hilarious improv juggernauts. They make up the makeup of all of the main characters of the season, and then I kind of play cleanup. I've got 1 character that I think appears in 3 different episodes, maybe 4. That's it. The rest of it is just me helping transition point this, point that, and direct. So we're excited for season 2. We can't wait to actually get a chance to get in the studio and actually work on it. We were hoping to do it over the summer, darn it, but it's what it is.
Darn it.
Yeah.
Oh, darn diddly darn. All right.
I think Jesters should start in the style of Blivet. Yes, I'm bringing this back, Angelina. A D&D league where we write our own campaigns and we do it together, because D&D is basically improv, so why not get a bunch of stupid improv children and make them wizards and warlocks? And then we make a Jesters movie where we don't even think of the plot, we get a suggestion, and then we do improv for 2.5 hours.
So I think this world is probably the only world that can really understand what I mean when I say we wrote it out, but then we improvised it. So other people that I've talked to about it, or like different interviews and stuff, have asked, like, well, wait a minute, if you're making it up, how can you write it? And you get it. It's just the framework of a game, and then we basically play a game. We just use the framework on a character basis and then made it up.
So you're telling me it is Dungeons and Dragons?
So please don't yell at me. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. I don't exactly know the premise.
Kopy?
But let me describe this to you and tell me if this is what it is. There's one episode. There's one episode we did this year where it was just me and Tears of the entire episode. Her character is one of the main characters. Mine is kind of this throwaway character. And we were so dumb in this whole episode, but we knew exactly what we needed to get done in this episode. We knew what points we needed to hit, what we needed to talk about, what needed to happen at the end, and we just improvised all of the context in between. Is that Dungeons and Dragons?
That can actually happen. There is a great campaign. It's on YouTube. It's by Dropout TV on Dimension 20. They have a channel, and they post like really high production value Dungeons and Dragons, and it's basically all improv, and they're all improv people too. It's a Dungeons and Dragons campaign called The Unsleeping City. Watch it, because it's just what you described. It's a bunch of people being really stupid. Yeah.
See, because I've seen the source-fed version of it, and they're just like, we're on an adventure. Let's see where the wind takes us.
I think if we can't do the coaches game live this year, we should. Can I please host like all of the coaches in a really big Dungeons and Dragons match as the coach game, and whoever can survive the longest, we will play for 13 hours. Like
the winner gets to replace you, Kopy.
Winner take all.
Finally, do we have to wait that long? Do we have to wait till the end of the year?
Yeah. We can get it done next week.
Yeah, let's do it.
We gotta wrap things up soon. So, do you have anything to add, Kopy?
I don't know. I mean, we in our first attempt at this, we chatted about some other stuff, but I mean, wherever
I know what
naturally.
You can say to wrap it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can tell them the funniest thing that Marley and I have ever done on or off stage.
Sure.
Actually, we should cut that part, because I'm looking and we only have 4 minutes left on the timer.
I know. I'm seeing that too. Hey, if you can do it in 2 minutes, that's impressive.
I got
it.
it.
We could say our closing line.
You know, any student that's a part of the league, whether it's a small fraction of time or a lot of fraction of time, like these two, they are valuable to me, and I appreciate them. That's, I mean, even just me memorizing everyone's names, like that's important to me. I want to know who's up there. You know, for me, I think the thing that stands out for me the most for Angelina was her senior year. I think even going into that, maybe she beat herself up sometimes, like, man, how do I get better? And I think she just owned it. I know her coach, Brent, that year was really proud of the work that he was able to help Angelina get to, and she just had a different attitude. Like Angelina just kind of snapped her fingers and said, this is my year. So that probably made me the happiest. And for Marley, because she's still kind of going through it, but when she got pulled up backstage to go on that playoff show, and I think that was her freshman year. So kind of a neat moment for her when Jeb started throwing up backstage. And,
did you ever get the context for that?
Not necessarily. I just saw it all happen live, and then when Adam stuck his face to the curtain and called for Marley, I was like, oh.
Okay. Well, the thing that made that really shocking and horrible is because I was making jokes all week before then, because I was the alternate for the playoffs, and I would walk up to like everyone on the playoff team and be like, it'd be a shame if there was some sort of tragic accident the day of the show. And then it happened, and part of the reason I was so anxious is because I felt so bad.
That's called manifesting.
Oh my god, I was doing it before anyone else. So yeah.
It happens. It happens.
You know, it does. All right, well, that's all we've got for today. Thank you for doing this, Kopy. And make sure to follow everybody. That doesn't make any sense. Everybody, make sure to follow Jesters on all of their social media platforms. Everything will be linked, so don't worry. You'll be able to be funny or see some funny people.
Yes.
Yay, funny.
The season is still happening this year, so if you want to come join a team, make sure you reach out to Jesters. It'll be awesome possum. Also, thank you for watching our Spotlight interview. Make sure you follow us and subscribe and smash that like button.
All the fun
stuff. What we do next, we're going to do our charity Spotlight really soon. So, you know, what's going to happen next?
And we got some show events coming up. Who knows? Anything could happen. So, from Marley and Angelina, this is Stage Rats, and we're signing off.